Hello again YouTube, Mad Dog here, welcome back to my channel. So today's little video is about, I want to practice my flint and steel firelighting method, but I haven't got any flint. What to do? Stay tuned. Welcome back. So we're going to try a bit of practice at flint and steel. I'm just using an old high carbon piece of file that have broken off and ground into a rough shape. Made sure that the edges are nice and sharp, like a proper 90 degree, so that you're able to shave small bits of that high carbon steel off using the striking method of flint and steel. But if we haven't got any flint, what we're going to look for? So just let me pan you down here onto the bench a little ways. As you can see, I've got a selection of rocks that I've gathered, and I'm going to bring each one up to the camera and show you and explain what I'm looking for. So first and foremost, I guess, is what not to look for. So we don't want anything obviously soft, chalky and or porous. So you can see this is quite a granular type of rock, as is this one, like a roadstone type of material, like limestone-ish. So I'm looking for porous material, soft to touch, crumbly. You know, if you rub them together, do particles fall off, indicating that it's soft and chalky. This old rock here that has got moss growing on it, which also is an indicator of porosity, the fact that it's got the ability to harbour life, micro life. So what I'm looking for that does work, and just to show, is my striker there. You know, you can get the occasional flash, but nothing that's substantial, because, and the reason being is obviously the rock is softer than the steel that we are trying to shave particles off. So for me personally, when I'm out and about, I'm looking for rocks that shout out quartz, you know, or something that is of that Rockwell hardness. So anything that's got the quartz granular sort of crystalline formations, you know, you can see it glisten in the light, whether it be white or rose quartz or something that's bordering on brown. You can see it's got that opalescence shine to it there. The same with blues and blacks. It's got to have that hard feel, non-porous texture. Even if you're looking at pebbles, this pebble I've got just out of my yard, but because of the coloration, and I feel confident that inside of there's going to be a quartz based or chert based mineral. And just to prove, there's a small divot there, so on the edge of that I can throw quite good sparks off of that. So I know that if I was to break that nodule, that pebble open, I should be able to get myself some nice sharp flat platform edges like this piece, onto which I can lay my char cloth and make a nice shelf for striking onto, and getting myself an ember established. So where to find these sort of minerals or rocks? As you can see, I've got quite a different selection here, purely just to show the different colorations, styles and grain structure. I would suggest looking for them riverbeds, river embankments, especially underneath the root ball system of a tree that's recently been felled, fallen over, and it's left, you know, the crater in the ground, uprooted all the soil and all the rocks from underneath of it. I would definitely recommend scouring around them sort of places. But basically, just wherever you go, just keep your eyes open, and it does start to become a bit of a habit to kick a stone over and pick it up and have a look what it consists of. I'm no mineralogist, don't get me wrong, but I do know just by experience, touch and feel, what will work and what will not work. So again, this goes back to the old adage of, if you have your steel and a tin, a charring tin of some sorts, then if you find your stone and your punk wood or a material that you are going to char, you have the basis for a ongoing, repeatable, self-replenishing fire system. So that's why I love flint and steel. So let's have a quick go. So a bit of my char cloth on the edge of this rock here. Again, this is just from my yard. And there we go. So now obviously I'll be able to blow that to flame by adding it into a bird's nest. Just put that in the water bucket, or something like my Mad Dog netting as an emergency tinder if you're not able to source something from nature. So obviously a bit of a plug. I do sell English flint on my eBay shop, which obviously, by the fact that it's harder than most other minerals, it does throw a lot more sparks because it removes more high carbon steel material from your striker. So I do sell those little pieces of flint on my eBay shop, as I do also with I do quite a good quantity of char cloth for the price. I do sell some, in my opinion, good quality and reliable char cloth, and obviously the jute netting and charred jute netting, which is also very good and very effective, used in conjunction with flint and steel. So I can pick up pretty much randomly any one of these rocks. Have I used that one? I don't know. Let's try the small one. And I feel pretty confident that I should be able to get an ember established and therefore a fire established from that. So I'll put my money where my mouth is a little ways, and let's see what happens. This is where I fail because the camera's rolling, but I'm not bothered. There we go. So we've got our initial coal established, and again what I like to do is now add more charred material before adding the material to my tinder ball, just to extend the coal, therefore emitting more heat, transferring more heat into the coal bundle. So let's see what excuse me, see what happens. There we go. There's our fire. I'm just going to extinguish this in my water bucket down here. There she goes. Struth, that's smoky. So it's a very effective, efficient and cost effective, if you like, way of carrying a permanent self-replenishing way of making fire. But again, it requires practice, and it requires a little bit of field awareness and experience as to know what minerals will and won't work with your flint and steel. You know, I mean, this one's quite nice. It's shaving off some good steel. Knowing what doesn't work, and also knowing what materials around you from nature you can then use to char, therefore having the ability to rekindle the next fire mentality. Also, when you're looking at your stones, your minerals, don't forget, if you come across something like this, this is quite a porous sandstone, soft rock that is capped off almost like a tooth with I don't know if this will pick up in this lighting, but there's a band there, and above the band, that's quartz, which I can use to strike my flint and steel with. But the actual sandstone part of this rock, because it's very fine and almost pumice like, I could use, if I wanted to hone, or take a rolled edge or a burr off of my field knife, so I could actually use it as a strop in the bush, you know, in a survival emergency situation, to strop or re-edge a blade or an axe, etc. So just in one little free gift from Mother Nature, that stone there has two purposes on one item. So be resourceful, you know, and look out for things like that. As with this rock, a lot larger, but obviously that fits the palm beautifully, and with that divot just there, that'll make a perfect hand drill socket, you know, bow drill socket for a bow drill fire kit. Also, with it having that natural scalloped shape, again, you could lay your medium in there to sharpen a blade through. It's the start of a primeval hammer or axe. You know, it's a multi-tool. Mother Nature's multi-tool. So be mindful when you're out and about. Don't just see a rock, see a tool or a resource that can aid your survivability, or just expand on your experience and your bushcraft knowledge using natural materials around you for free. But like I say, talking of for free, if you do want to try your hand with some English flint, check out my eBay store. As per the char cloth, I do supply quite a lot for the amount of money that I charge. The way I manufacture my char cloth is I produce it in rolls. So you can actually unroll this. These are just offcuts, just seconds that I've thought weren't good enough to sell. I sell it in rolls, and you can unroll these a good ways. This is, like I say, just a sample, and I think I put 4 or 5 rolls in each bag. So you do get quite a lot of char cloth, good enough for many fires. So just a quick one on what to do if you haven't got some proper flint. Obviously, if you can get your hands on the proper stuff, then you know it works amazing. It really does. Anyway, that being said, rambled on way too long. Hope you find this little video useful, if not entertaining. And until next time, I wish you all the best of health. Stay safe out there, look after each other, and until next time, Mad Dog signing off. Yeah!